Hey, it's Ron McLean. Welcome to Hockey Talk on the Rock.
With Lara and Keith.
It's interesting.
So let's back up a second.
He played absolutely out of his mind.
It made no sense to me.
And now, here are your hosts.
Here we go. Back with Hockey Talk on the Rock for a almost 1 year anniversary, but milestone episode nonetheless, episode number 50.
Woo!
And woo! And celebrating it, we got a little surprise treat made for us here.
Woo!
That's gonna get shown off.
Woo! 50. Oh!
It's
Okay.
a little bit melting, but congrats to the team for this is your plum pie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, alright. Bye.
So yes, number 50. We're averaging almost like pretty well an episode a week, which is pretty good.
Yeah, I think so.
And so big milestone. So here we are, August 22nd, 2021 on Salt Spring, and I'm Keith, and this is Lara. We are doing our thing, Hockey Talk on the Rock, with a little bit of an interesting intro there. And I think we'll hop right into it with some Canucks news, because we haven't been able to talk about Dickinson getting signed,
Yeah.
which was one of the three kind of major things left for the offseason.
The two big ones still.
The two big ones still lingering.
Yeah.
So what do you got? What do you think? I like it.
I like it. I think the term's good. I think the money's good. That's what you want to pay your third line center, and now you know exactly what you have left for your two big boys, and hopefully you can work something out there that's not awful. And yeah, I like it, and I've always liked I liked when they picked him up. I thought that was a really good move. So
Yeah, it's good money. I think the consensus is it's a little less than people thought it was going to be and
Yeah.
what I thought it was going to be, but the way it's structured with their centers, with Sutter making what he is, and Dickinson and Horvat,
Yep.
and whatever Pedersen will make, it's like
yeah, their
it
center
seems like
depth
they've
now
got it
looks
figured
pretty
out
good.
finally. Yeah. So it looks good. I like it. I didn't have anything else Canucks related besides that, even though it's been a while.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else Canucks related.
No, okay. I had some league news before we get to your hot take comparisons and new hot takes. Just a few things, really. Lundqvist retired.
Yeah.
Kind of saw it coming, I guess, after
Yeah.
like the Hart thing last year. He really wanted to give it a go, but I think too many people probably were just too scared with the Hart thing to give him a chance.
Okay, yeah. The thing that I'm kind of sad about for Lundqvist is, like, I know that he was technically still, like, a Capital, and I feel like the Rangers and the Capitals should have worked something out so that he could have, like, retired a Ranger,
Right.
because, I mean, he played his whole career there. Ultimately, I know he signed with Washington. He never played for them.
Yeah.
So it would be kind of nice as just a, gesture from the team or whatever. I know they've said they're going to retire his number and everything, but yeah, he had a good long career. I always, like, had a lot of respect for the King, so all the best to him and his health and everything, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he has a pretty good record. He's going to be one of those guys, like, compared with Luongo, you know,
Yeah.
as, like, one of those really great goalies who just never got the cap and
Yeah,
got a Vezina and all that.
he
So, yeah.
took them to the finals the 1 year against Chicago?
No, LA.
Or was LA? I always screw up those two, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, but yeah.
So yeah, and then moving on from there, I had like a little bit of Flyers news. Some, like, I think it was either today or yesterday, they re-signed Travis Sanheim to 2 years, 4.35, and it's kind of like,
Oh yeah, I saw that.
or sorry, 4.67 per.
Yep.
And defense are expensive, and
Yeah.
like, I don't know, it's kind of what they paid Gostisbehere, but didn't give him 6 years at least. So
Yeah.
I got high hopes. I like Sanheim. He hasn't really like become what I think they thought he was gonna be, but he's still not bad. So we'll see. I'm glad it's only 2 years.
Yeah, I think maybe lesson learned from Ghosty and try and develop him up a bit better all-round game. But yeah, I think it's a pretty low-risk move for Philly at the time. And yeah, with the price of defensemen right now, it might be a bargain. And then maybe you would have wished it was longer, right?
Yeah, you never know.
But you never know, so yeah.
So, I mean, I can't remember what we talked about last time or how long it's been, but like Carter Hart signed too. I feel like we might have talked about
I
that.
don't know if we did, actually.
Okay, so anyways, it was like a 3 year, 3.7. It was
Yeah.
a good
I
second
think that's
contract.
good too. Based on, like, he had the really good first season, and then last year was bad, but the whole team was bad. So, I feel like it's good money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other news that came up recently was like it's official that Owen Power is going to go back to Michigan.
Yes. Good for him.
First one since Eric Johnson in 06 to be the first overall and go back to college, but it's not really surprising because like the only thing that I really hear about is like what's best for him. Go back to Michigan where like a bunch of really good hockey
Yeah,
players
they're
are going
gonna have a
back,
team.
or go to Buffalo and play for like a struggling Sabres team. So it makes total sense.
Yeah, I don't know why he would have gone to Buffalo. There's no point for him. He should go, win a college championship or whatever, because that team, it looks ridiculous what he's going back to. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like I say, not too surprising.
No.
Other one I got, like, there was a lot of avoided arbitration cases and
Yes.
whatnot, but I just kind of like picked through them and decided to mention like Jumbo Joe signed
Yeah,
in Florida.
Florida.
It's got to be his last hurrah, I think.
Yeah, like we talked about this, right? Like I think probably like almost a player coach thing.
Yeah.
Because I don't even know how he makes it onto that roster right now. Like Florida's pretty deep up front, and
they're pretty stacked, and there's a good like, horse to hitch your cart to kind of thing for Thornton for next year. You never know, they could
go on a little bit of a run.
Yeah. So interesting signing, interesting to see.
Yeah.
It's just another guy prolonging it.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, I know I talked about this last year, but I feel like it's kind of similar just on the Florida thing. Like, if you hear that you're like, okay, they're Stanley Cup contenders. I really think that the three that main people talk about is Tampa, because obviously they've won 2 in a row. And then Vegas, who I don't agree with. And then Colorado, who I also don't really love the moves they've made. And I think my dark horse team for next year would honestly be Florida, just because of how deep their forwards are. And if Ekblad comes back healthy, I think that really helps their defense.
Yeah.
But I'm not sold. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, they could do really good, but I could also see them taking a step back and missing the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't know. The players they acquired at the deadline, they re-signed Bennett. Like they had to declare all year last year, but they re-signed him. Who they acquired, Montour, I think they re-signed him too, and he was kind of like a fill-in for Ekblad. So next year they'll have both of them.
Yeah.
So I think it all really depends for Florida on the goaltending.
Yeah, which you never know.
And Bobrovsky, I don't know, but maybe Knight's really good.
Yeah, exactly.
So they got a good situation to be in, really.
Yeah.
That's all I got on Florida, though.
Yeah, anyway, sorry.
And then moving on from that, it's on to your hot takes.
Okay, I just gotta bring one more thing up.
Okay.
Which is just a bit of league news that had people all kind of in an uproar.
Is
and
the jersey thing?
Yeah. Well, there's 2 parts. There's the jersey part, so the NHL, the owners have unanimously voted that they're going to allow ads on jerseys, not this season, but next season. And obviously people are freaking out because NHL jerseys have always been really clean.
Yeah.
And I do agree, the look is really nice without ads, but basically the problem is that the owners and the players are in a 50-50 split right now, which is what they spent the whole CBA arguing, right? And because of basically COVID, the players owe the owners so much money, which is the reason why the flat cap is happening right now.
Yeah.
So this move is purely to try and get it so the cap's going to go up sooner rather than expected. And as long as it's a little ad on the arm or something, I don't really care. But if it goes,
once it goes, they're never going to go back.
I know, that's the problem, right? So I'm upset, but I'm not devastated, I guess.
I think I'm more of I'm upset, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, and maybe that's me too. And it's gonna take. The thing is, last year everyone freaked out about them putting the ads on the helmets, and I don't think anyone noticed them actually.
Oh, the helmets actually turned out to be okay. I thought. Didn't matter.
So I feel if it's something like that, I'll be fine with it, and I don't think they're gonna put them on the ones that you can buy, the retail jerseys. I think it's just gonna be on ice.
Oh, sweet, that's good.
So if that's the case, I'm okay with it to a degree.
Yeah.
And then the other news in the league, before we get to my hot takes, is the Arizona stuff, because that I find very, fascinating situation. It looks like Arizona, this is going to be their last year in Glendale, and they've said that they're going to try and keep the team in Arizona, but there's an owner and there's a building in Houston, and I don't think the NHL would mind at this point if they move to Houston. I know everyone wants Quebec City. I don't think it's going to happen with Quebec City. When Houston is available, and also Arizona this year is moving into the Central to make way for Seattle, right?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make sense if they moved the team to Quebec City, because then you're gonna have to basically redraw the lines again, and
Yeah.
either Detroit or Columbus is gonna have to go back.
Yeah, I was gonna say they'd probably move Columbus back
Yeah,
over.
which they don't want to do. So I feel like Houston makes sense because it's right in the Central anyway,
Right,
and they
with
wouldn't have to
Dallas,
do
yeah.
anything. So I think that might have even been part of the reason why it was Arizona that they like kicked out, because they knew it was like a possibility.
Right.
And yeah, Arizona was like thousands of dollars behind, maybe even millions on rent
Right.
with this rink. And Glendale, very weird organization. I mean, it goes back to that article that like Katie Slang wrote or whatever about how dysfunctional the Coyotes organization is, and it'll be interesting to see how much longer they are in Arizona for.
Yeah, they've talked about it over and over and over for like the
Yeah.
last 25 years and where they're going to move to because it's not going to work, or they're having troubles
Yeah.
with arenas or whatever. But like this time, it does legitimately feel like it maybe might happen.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of Atlanta with Winnipeg. It
And
was like all
happened
of a
pretty
sudden,
quickly. Yeah.
And
So that'd be nice. And what do you think? Houston Coyotes probably they just stick with it, or
I
what?
wonder if they'll go with like the Arrows, like a WHL, like reference kind of thing.
You think so?
I don't know. I think I could see it.
Hmm.
The Coyotes, I'd be happy. I like the Coyotes jerseys. Obviously, I like this jersey. I also like the Kachina. So I'd be kind of sad if they don't have a team and they change the jerseys completely.
Right.
But, you know, besides that, I don't really care about hockey in Arizona.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It'll
And
be
they've also
interesting.
traded, like, basically all of their roster players. So that's another thing that's interesting. If they are moving cities, they're going to, like, end up with, like, a young, basically, team.
Yeah,
starting
they
from
got the
bottom.
Beagles, the Russells,
Yeah, but
the
they'll be
Goss,
gone.
the Spares.
Yeah. Well,
the
not Goski,
Lads.
but yeah. Yeah, anyway,
All right.
that's my league news.
Okay.
Hot take time.
Let's hear what you got or had last year and got for this year.
Okay, so this segment is going to be called Lara Knows Nothing About Hockey, or he's really bad at predicting.
So how many hot takes did you do last year?
I did 10.
And
I'll tell you the score afterwards. I think it's more amusing.
okay.
Okay, number 1. Ready for this one?
Yep.
Brock Besser is going to score more goals than Tyler Toffoli.
Ooh.
I mean, I'll
Close.
say this. It was close. This one wasn't that far off. And if Toffoli didn't play Vancouver, I would have won. But, you know, it's fine. Okay, 2. Both Hughes, not Jack Hughes, not Quinn, and Kako are going to have big years, which would be the equivalent in an 82 game season of a 50-point season for Hughes and a 20-goal season for Kako. I didn't look up what Hughes' pace would have been. It might have actually been part right, this one, because I think he actually did put up a decent amount, but Kako's definitely off, so I just gave myself the X. You know, I was like, that's easy. Okay, number 3. Another good one. Braden Holtby is going to play more games than Thatcher Demko.
Whoa.
Definitely not the case. Number 4. Nate McKinnon's going to win both the Hart and the Art Ross. X. 5. Boston is going to finish, and this was before we knew about the division realignment, but I still counted it off of points. So they're going to finish below both Toronto and Montreal in the standings. They finished below Toronto, but above Montreal, so X. Okay, this is my good one. Are you ready?
Yep.
One of Quinn Hughes or Cale Makar is going to finish top 3 in Norris voting.
There you go.
Got one.
Got one. Okay.
Number 6. Arizona is going to finish last in the West. X. It was Columbus. Number 8. Elias Pettersson is going to finish top 10 in scoring. Nope. Number 9. Toronto is going to win at least one playoff round.
Oh, ouch.
I tried, Leafs fans. I tried for you guys. And number 10, the NHL isn't going to start until February 1st, and that was also an X. So I got a big fat 1 out of 10.
Nice. Well,
So.
there's always next year is what they say.
You know, they are meant to be hot. They're not meant to be things that are,
Easily
super
predictable.
likely.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I get it. Well, so you got 10 for this year.
Yeah, I jotted down 10 before coming here.
I'll try to do a better agree-disagree with you on each one.
I know you agreed for me for sure on the Holtby's going to start more than Demko, and I
Oh.
laughed about that. And then I think the Pettersson one you were okay with, and there was one other one, and I was like, oh, we both look bad, so it's okay. That's okay. Okay, so number 1 of my hot takes
Okay.
is that the Vegas Golden Knights are going to finish third in the Pacific. And the reason why that's hot, I think, is because most people with the Pacific would project them to finish first. But I just think there's too much weird stuff going on there. I would want to say they're going to miss the playoffs, but there's no way they do in that division. So I think they're going to finish third. Okay, number 2. Mick Jesus is not going to lead the league in points this year.
Disagree.
I think that is an easy one to disagree with, but I figure why not? We'll just try it.
So, anyways, back to the first one. I agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, agree, disagree?
Yeah.
Number 3. Jack Eichel is not going to play until after January 1st.
Ooh. I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a slow process right now. I can't see it getting better.
Well, he's not having either surgery, right? And until they give him the okay, it's like it's going to take at least 6 weeks if he gets what he wants.
Yeah.
If not, it's
or
going to take longer.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I want it to be like all season, but I feel like that's too hot, so I just put January 1st.
Fair.
Okay, number 4. I'm
Yeah.
trying again with my Pedersen one, but I'm switching it up a bit.
Okay.
He's going to get 100 points, and this is contingent on if he starts the season with the Canucks.
Okay.
If he doesn't, like if he holds out, then no.
Okay.
But he has to play the full season, obviously.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Yeah, it's easy too. Number 5, I have Montreal missing the playoffs, which
I agree with you.
I think is, it could happen.
They're going to be a victim of the realignment, I think.
Yeah. Okay, 6, I have the Rangers missing the playoffs again, and the reason why I think this one is hot, because it's not super spicy, but, like 3 years ago, all the Canucks fans were complaining about the Canucks rebuild, and it was because of what the Rangers were doing.
Yeah.
But I feel like if they miss the playoffs again this year, then people have to kind of admit that their rebuild, like it might still, they got Lafreniere and they got the 2nd overall pick, but like, it might not be as good as what people had envisioned.
Gotcha.
So.
I'd agree with you on it.
Yeah. Okay, number 7, this one's kind of spicy. I have Marc-Andre Fleury is going to get more wins than Leonard in Vegas.
Ooh.
I know, it's hard.
I can agree with that one. I'm going to have to disagree.
Okay. It's okay. All right, number 8. I have Florida. They're going to win their round this year, and Toronto's not. So I've switched.
Okay.
I think Florida bucks their curse
wins a round
before Toronto does.
and Toronto will not win a round.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna disagree, and I think that they'll both win a round.
Okay, that's nice. I tried last year, so maybe this year I'll do the same thing, but opposite for Toronto.
There you go.
All right, number 9. I have Thatcher Demko. He's gonna be a Vezina finalist.
Ooh, I like it.
Yeah.
I'll agree with you.
Okay.
I like that one.
I just feel like it might happen. And number 10, this one was because I couldn't think of anything else. I have Ottawa is going to be in playoff contention in March.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah, not agree.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, that's easy too.
Okay,
I feel
you
like
disagree.
I don't agree with some of them. I'm just throwing them out there and we'll see.
That's fun.
So
I like
hopefully I get better than 1 out of 10 next year.
it. The bar is low.
Yeah.
So, yes, the odds are good for you.
So,
We'll
yeah.
see. We'll see next year.
Yeah.
So the final thing we're going to do before we wrap up is we're going to do a quick little chat about the Pacific Division and kind of like predict who's going to finish where. And I think we'll start at the bottom.
Okay, sounds good.
So for number 8, I've got Anaheim. I think that like they're obviously in the rebuild, but like they don't do enough to like supplement it right now. And
Yeah.
the young guys aren't going to do it for them. I think it's going to be a tough year for Anaheim.
Yeah, I agree. I would put Anaheim at 8 too.
Okay. 7, I got Seattle.
Okay.
What would you take for 7?
I think I'll put San Jose only because I had faith in them last year and I don't have faith in them this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I've seen with Seattle, I can't see it. I know I doubted Vegas as well,
Yeah.
but I really just don't see it with them. So
Yeah.
we'll see. The division's weak. They could do better than
They
I
could
think.
do better than you think. Their defense is not bad. It's just about if they can play a system that, like, basically a trapping system, right? Like,
Yeah.
if they can do that, they might be able to squeak some games out and finish higher than you think, but...
We'll see. So number 6, I've got San Jose.
Okay.
And it's because I think that, I don't know, maybe a couple of their old guys will have better years again this year. And like I said, I think what they've done is weird with adding like other old guys like Bonino and whatnot. And we'll see. But maybe Aiden Hill and James Reimer are like a decent tandem, and they've get 6th.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know if I want to be too different from you. Like, in my heart, I'm saying I would probably put Seattle at 6, but just because I want to do something kind of different, I'll say it's LA.
Okay.
And I know people are really high on LA right now, but I just don't. I think that was the other team that I was trying to think of, actually. It was like the Rangers and LA are like the two that everyone complains about. The Canucks should have done it, like,
Right.
the rebuild. And I think LA is probably ahead of the Rangers in my mind. But that being said, I just don't think they're that good yet.
Okay, so you got LA at 6.
I'll take LA at 6.
Okay, I'm gonna have to write these down later.
Oh, I forgot about Calgary too.
So at 5, I've got Calgary.
Yeah.
I think that Calgary has unless between now and the beginning of the year.
Can I switch mine and put Calgary at 6?
You're gonna put Calgary at 6
Yeah.
instead of
LA. LA. Yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, we'll write it down after.
Okay.
Calgary. Just don't see it. Like I was trying to say, between now and the beginning of the season, if they do the thing what they said they were gonna do, like the big shakeup,
Yeah.
maybe I put them higher on this list. But currently, as it stands, all they've really done is like add Zadorov and Coleman and a different backup and like lost Giordano. So I don't see them being better, and I think they're just.
I think there's too many internal problems in that team. I don't think they're good. Like, that's why I was like, I want them below LA. Like, never mind.
Yeah, so then now you've got LA 5.
I'll put LA at 5.
Okay, so 4 I put LA. I was just looking at how the rebuild's going, and I think they're gonna have a little bit of a step. Their question mark to me is their goaltending, whether Quick or Pedersen or Peterson's gonna have a good year. But like the fact that they really didn't lose anybody, and they did add Edler and Deneau and Arvidsson.
I just wonder about their defense too.
Yeah,
that's the only other thing. Like, Edler's like decent if he's playing in your bottom pair right now, and like you still have Doughty. I don't know how what level Doughty's at compared to where he was, and then I don't really know like who else they have left in LA. So that's my question mark with them. Besides the goalies, I think their forward group is young and it will be entertaining anyway. But
so who would you have it for then?
Okay, so this is my next thing.
So you must have.
I guess I gotta have Seattle, which I feel like it's way too high because I'm also not very sold on them. But we'll do it again. We'll
Seattle
do it so it's different. I'll put Seattle at 4. I'll say that the defense and they'll buy in like Vegas did to that whole underdog thing. But I think they finish 4th and still don't make the playoffs. I think the 2 from the Central will cross over.
I agree. I think it'll be just 3 from the Pacific getting in this year.
Yeah.
So 3, I've got Vegas. So I agreed with your hot take.
Yeah.
I think that their center thing is going to be an issue, too big of an issue. Their main guys are getting 1 year older.
Yeah.
And I think, now that it's just Lehner and they got Brossoit to back him up, which is okay. But I think that's going to hurt them a bit, too. So I put them at 3rd.
Yeah, I agree with you. Again, I put it in my hot takes, and I just feel like it's going to be a down year for them. They've had too much happiness in their, short history.
And Boohoo is still making the playoffs.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say it's down year, but it's only because it's the Pacific, right? Like, this division is pretty bad.
Yeah.
And we've been talking, and I'm like, yeah, I could see this playing out a number of different ways. But it is interesting how we have, like, the same 3 teams. And that is the same top 3 that I would put, I think.
And I'm like, I'm doing the homer thing big time because I've got Edmonton 2nd because everyone's putting Edmonton first and I just don't buy it. Like, Smith and Koskinen, and I can't see making it happen for them. And like their defense did not get better, I don't think.
No, I agree. And again, I don't want to be a homer to that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think the Canucks do actually have a realistic shot at winning this division.
Well, if you look at what the teams had last year and what they are now, like out of all these teams we've listed, it's kind of like LA and Vancouver made the
biggest
best
move.
adds.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know, people really like adding Fogle to Edmonton, and people really like Keith and CC coming in, but, I don't buy it, right? Like, Larson went out, Barry's back, but, he's not a defenseman,
No,
really.
he's basically another forward, and, their power play is really good, and part of that is because of Barry, but also part of that's because of, Draisaitl and McDavid. But, okay, I'll be different. I'll put Edmonton first, I'll put Vancouver second, but... Yeah, to me, I could see the Canucks taking it. I think realistically, I could see any combination of Vegas.
Those 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see any combo of those 3. I think it's going to be those 3, though.
Yeah.
And like I say, I'll have to write down what you got after so I don't forget.
Yeah.
And I'll save this somewhere. But that's all I got for today, and that's our predictions for Pacific. So next time we'll cover a little bit of news if there is any, and we'll do maybe we'll do Central next or something.
Alrighty, sounds good. Yeah,
Awesome.
maybe at the end we'll write up on a board like who we have making playoffs from each conference or whatever.
Oh yeah. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, well until that happens, this was us doing number 50.
Woo!
So woo,
Party time.
big 50. Okay, so thank you for listening again. Hockey Talk on the Rock.